Welcome to the Contractors Secret Weapon Radio Podcast, the show dedicated to helping contractors, remodelers, painters, roofers, and others in the construction industry gain an unfair advantage over their competition. Get ready for some inspiration, some encouragement, some proven business building strategies, and a couple of new ideas that can take your business to the next level and beyond. And now, broadcasting from the Contractors Secret Weapon Studio, it's Pete Mitchell and Dave Negri.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Contractors Secret Weapon. This is Dave Negri, your co-host today.
And this is Pete Mitchell. And I almost forgot which podcast I was on. I'm like, wait, which one is this again? Because all of a sudden,
put that up on your dashboard. We're doing Contractors.
Yeah, exactly, right.
We're not doing.
I can't talk about guns.
Planner, or
I can't talk about the guns. Which
you need to throw another one in there.
I know, I really do. Which, by the way, this is the true story. So last night, I'm at the range. I do a lot of competitive shooting. For those of you who haven't heard that before, and of course, I'm wearing. I have a podcast for shooting, and I'm wearing my hat for it. And I had two different guys come up to me. One guy's like, "Hey, you do that podcast?" And I go, "Yeah, that's me." And he goes, "This, I kid you not, this is exactly what happened." He goes, "You know a lot about a bunch of different subjects." And I go, "Well, you could be talking about my co-host." And he goes, "Yeah, now that I hear your voice, I think it was him." I was like, "All right, cool. This is what I want for my night." But yeah, no, it was funny. I was sitting there going, "Wait, what podcast am I doing?" Oh, that's right. I'm talking to Dave. I know which one I'm doing when I'm talking to Dave. But hey, by the way, happy birthday.
Oh, yeah. I had the big 6'5" the other day.
There you go, man. There you go.
Everybody goes, "How do you feel?" I said, "A day older. That's it."
Yeah.
I had one of the guys at church. We had a lunch meeting, a bunch of leaders at church the other day, and he goes, "When are you going to retire?" And I go, "Give me the definition." And he says, "Well, you got enough money, you can retire." I said, "That's not what I asked you." I said, "Give me your definition of retirement."
Right.
He wouldn't give me it.
He probably doesn't know. Like,
he's retired, but his definition and my definition are two completely things.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't, to me, retirement is giving up something you don't want to do something you do want to do. And I enjoy everything I do. And the nice part about it is we're at a point where we don't need the money, so we're not controlled by money. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
We control money.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too is you have to enjoy what you do all the time, because if you wait until you retire to do what you want to do, for a lot of people, that basically means they're never going to do what they really wanted to do, because they're going to get out of retirement.
I get excited.
Yeah, they're going to be like, you just went to Italy for 3 weeks. I mean, most people.
But, I get excited because I'm looking forward to.
Well, then why'd you take 3 weeks off from the podcast? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I was just in between those 3 Mondays. I was.
I'm just kidding.
That one Monday I could have done it. I was in Miami, but I would have fallen asleep. We just got off the plane.
Yeah.
But I know, really, I enjoy everything I do. And, there's a ton of stuff that we want to do more of. And not just travel, but, we got a bunch of different business things coming up within the next 2 years that'll just blow away most people.
Right.
And we're not chasing them. They're sort of like chasing us.
Right. That's cool. That's really cool.
It'll be intriguing and interesting to see how it works.
Yeah.
So today I want to talk about newsletters from the standpoint of people paying you so that you can send out the newsletter.
So why don't we start with reminding everyone who's maybe missed some of those episodes where we've talked about newsletters. When you say a newsletter, what's it look like? How often is it going out?
All right. A newsletter is not emailed. I mean, you can email it, but it would be in conjunction with mailing. I'm sorry.
So it's physical mail.
Physical mail. It has to not have really anything to do with your business. What do you mean? People don't want to know about cleaning your house or painting your house unless there's some things, some maintenance things you want to throw in there that you get out of an article or something like that. They don't want any ads. It's kind of funny on how a newsletter is considered almost sacred from advertisement. Kind of weird.
Right. Yeah.
But what I found is if you want to put an ad in it, it has to be a separate sheet all in itself.
Right. That's called a freestanding insert for those of you who
freestanding insert
aren't hip to the lingo.
And that they don't find that offensive. Don't know why, but when they see you putting an ad in for for your services, it's like, oh, he's trying to sell me. He's really not giving this to me for information.
Right. So why don't you tell them in your newsletter, like you sent me an example here, and I got it pulled up in front of me. What are you putting in there since you're not talking about, like, let's say we got a roofing contractor. Since he's not going to be talking about roofs, what do you suggest that he puts in there? Like, where's the content coming from? What is the content?
Let me pull it up. The email I sent you.
Oh, I got yours open.
I know. And you can. This is one is different than. There's one. I think there's one on the website of free stuff, of a copy of the newsletter. The one I use for Elite Home and Property Services.
All right.
This one is that I'm putting together is for some reason. This one is I'm doing for the title company. Okay, open in browser. All right. So on the front of the newsletter, and in even this one or my other one that I use for the it's the name of the company, and it's just got like an exclusive newsletter to our customers. It's informative and entertaining, and that's the key: informative, some neat, fun stuff, and entertaining.
Right.
Nothing about your business because they'll get bored. So and I took a lot of this stuff that's in this one from the one I used for the painting, but I added a couple other things. So I run topics across the top, and we're going to put this on the website, you guys, so you guys can take a look at it. Some fine dining in the area where we are, and just a little bit about the company. And so what I've done in this particular newsletter to make it appealing to sponsors or advertisers, however you want to put it, so that I don't have to pay for the newsletter, is that I put this article is brought to you by, and these are just mock-ups. So John Doe, Coastal Property Group, Coastal Christie's, his telephone number, and because it's just a mock-up, it's that I would have put his website in there, maybe his email, so that they know. So here's what the whole object is: to put the newsletter to the client. Now, all of our clients are ideal customers for service companies. Most of the homes that we close in the title company are over $450,000.
Right.
So, I would put in service. I put in, real estate company, but after I got to thinking about it later, I wouldn't allow them in. Because we have too many, they would compete against each other, and it'd cause a hassle with the companies. So it would be just service companies. So it would be a pest control, a plumber, a painter, even I'm thinking of a dry cleaner, because a lot of them have free deliveries and pickups. So for busy people, that's a big deal. So I've got 1,000 people that we're looking at sending it out. We've got about 5,000 or 6,000, but I'm just trying to do this on a small scale to begin with. So there's an article in here for fine dining in North Pinellas County, top secret recipes. So it's something that they'll keep. A little cartoon, and this one has to do with like the mortgage business. On the inside, there's Grandma's Cures and Remedies, which is a fun little thing. You know, what happens? What do you stomach aches, lemon tea and honey, keep the stomach ache at bay, and hot flashes, take vitamin E. Then there's, this month in history, things that have happened, let's say in October, 1905, 1927. And then there's bizarre and unique holidays.
I like the Name Your Car Day, by the way.
October is Name Your Car Day.
Yeah.
Just weird stuff.
That's great.
Then there's some quick cleaning tips. And then, some new, this is kind of fun that I thought about is who would have thunk of it? New words that are now in the dictionary that,
Scrumptiddlyumptious is actually in the dictionary.
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
That's crazy. A non-apology. Oh my gosh.
Non-apology. How about a cheese eater?
Wow.
Kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I never even heard of that.
No, I didn't either. I just thought that would be some little fun.
So where are you getting this content that you're putting in here?
Just from the web. What I do is I've got grandma's. Grandma's Cures and Remedies. I probably got 250 of them.
Oh wow! Okay.
So I'll just take 10, and then I'll rotate them around. This month in history, I'll take them, and you can get them. The nice part about this is you can take one whole day and probably get all the articles you need for the whole year and put them in, except for some of the fine dining, or like I'm doing in here. What can you do this month in the community?
Right.
But I may not do that either. And then I've got an article written by this painting company, Elite Home and Property Services, maintaining the value of your castle. So it's brought to you by me. I wrote the whole thing anyway, so I get to do that. But I'm not going to charge myself.
Right.
No, I'm not even going to put mine in there because I'm not looking for business.
Well, but here's the thing. You did this so you could get 5 sponsors, partners, advertisers, whatever you want to call it, because I think you said you're going to charge them like $250 each, and you figured, for a minimum of 3 months, right? Wasn't that the deal? Yeah. And you might want to just bump that up to 4 months and just say, look, it's $1,000 for 4 issues for the first 4 months, just to make sure, because then all you got to do is basically come back to them once a quarter and get them to re-up.
Yeah, that's true. And
but the $2,500, no, I'm sorry,
the $1,000,
$2,000.
How much?
How much is it? No, it's $1,000 or $1,250.
$1,000 per, so it'd be about $6,000 because I got 6 sponsors on there.
Right.
So
for 4 months.
Take care of putting a newsletter together,
right? Which
is, for me, it's not. I'm not looking for a whole lot of money, but mailing and printing, folding, and all that other stuff, and that'll take care of the 4 months.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, what that means is you get free advertising in this example to 1,000 people every month for 4 months. And it's not really that it was free to you because you did the work. You put together the newsletter. You got everything done with the printer. You got it all folded, mailed, or even if you outsource it, right, which is how I would do it. But you still took care of it. So it's not that it was free. It's just that it didn't financially cost you any money. So if you're listening to this right now and you've got a staff, an assistant, anything like that, this becomes their job. Right?
It's not that hard to do.
And if you do it once, you can probably do it again and use the same newsletter, but do another 1,000 homes with another 6 advertisers.
Well,
and just keep doing it.
That's where I'm going with this. Is because what I'll do is do the first 1,000 and get it kicked off, because we've got about 4,000 or 5,000 customers over the last 5-6 years. So we just want to keep in front of them, knowing that within the next year or two, that the cycle in the market's going to go to the downturn, and we don't want them to ever forget about us.
Right.
And that's really the key. And so in there we've got another thing is that I put in my other newsletter that really makes a big difference is a word puzzle, because now they hold on to it for more than a day.
Right.
So I had one of my customers say, "Hey, I bring that word puzzle into the bathroom with me." I said, "I didn't really need to know that."
But it's funny. That's what people do with newsletters. Like, I used to tell people all the time, I know you're reading my newsletter on the toilet. Like, that's just what everyone does. And I don't really care.
Had one lady was keeping them just for the recipes.
That's crazy.
So it's just a fun thing. It's easy to do. And I figured, I really want the newsletter to go out, but I don't want to spend $700-800 a month doing it.
Right. Yep.
Unless I have to.
Right.
And I don't have to. I think that, there's a lot of guys out there that would love to be in front of 1,000 people in a 400,000 plus price range home. It would be their perfect client. And people are going to read these articles, because I know from, the past that they read them and they keep them.
Right.
They hold on to them. And the cool thing too is they'll pass them on if they like them.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
So, it's not that really hard to put it together. I'm just thinking, I thought it'd be fun to just put it up on the website, let everybody do it, and then take a poll. Would this be something that you would do or you would pay for at 25 cents? And I think I might even, to make it, because I've been thinking about how everybody loves email. I hate it.
Right.
Because I know it doesn't get open, but most people don't understand that,
Right.
I charge them, instead of $250, charge them $300, and we'll send out an email newsletter in conjunction.
Right.
So they get two. But that's still up in the air. I'm not.
Right.
I know I'm not sold on it, but I know that it may be that contributing factor, because most people are thinking that email is the wizard.
Yeah, and I think one of the things too that if you're looking at this going, hey, I like this idea, what industries can I go after? One of the things that I like to do when I do stuff like this is I go, okay, first of all, who else has my ideal customer, right? There's other people who have your ideal customer, but I'm also going to look for industries where one sale is generally a lot of money. So if I'm a roofing contractor, I'm absolutely going to go after, for one of the ads, a real estate agent. And the reason why I'm going to do that is they get one deal, like on your average $400,000 home. What is that, 10 grand to them, or whatever it ends up being for a transaction side? I mean, they're making good money.
For the roofer?
No, for the real estate contractor.
Oh, for the real estate agent, yeah.
Yeah, so I want those type of businesses, because then they're not like, hey, I got to get 50 sales out of this. They're like, look, I get one sale out of 4 issues, or so many leads. Hey, I'm doing good. I'm going to go after a mortgage lender, because again, same thing. I might go after, like, if I'm a roofer and I know I've got a power washer friend, I might go up to the power washer. Hey, do you want to get in this with me? I'm going to go after basically anybody who's got to do with the home who doesn't compete with me on any level. Not just like they can do this, but like, you clean roofs, Dave, as opposed to replacing roofs. So you're not going to really compete against the guy who's replacing a roof, because you're never going to replace a roof. That's just not what you do. And so if it were me and I were the roofer, I'd be like, hey, Dave, why don't you come in here and be one of our advertisers? Because
and I would do that in a heartbeat, because I know that, okay, so I'm going to lay out $1,000. and in hopes that that I get business. Of course, I'm gonna, like we talked earlier, I'm gonna put something in.
We're gonna actually track it too. We're gonna track it where no one else will.
So that I know that they're at least seeing it.
Yeah,
and I know they are seeing it, because here's the funny thing. I remember, if anybody's ever listened to any of my past podcasts about newsletters, and it's been a long-standing joke, but it's really not a joke, that I would spend a buck and a half a month to have the newsletter go out to my customers, knowing that they're reading it on the way to the garbage.
Right.
And they don't throw it in because it's not in an envelope. It really comes open.
Right.
So it's a guaranteed open rate.
Right.
Not like email, where you may get 10 or 12%.
Right. Yeah, it's a huge difference, and without a doubt, the number one thing that's made me more money than anything else has been my newsletter. Hands down. You became a client of mine way back in the day when you and I first started working together, because you'd been getting my newsletter, I think, for 2 years. And I don't even remember how you got on my newsletter list to begin with. I think you bought a book or something. It was
3D Mail.
Yeah, I did an article for them, for their newsletter, ironically, right? And offered my book or whatever, and you must have gotten on my list that way. And you just, right, someone buys a book, what do you make, $5-10 off of it? Who knows, right? And for 2 years you were on it, and then one day you reach out to me and you're like, hey, I need some help with my marketing and I want to work with you. Okay.
Yeah, because I knew that we thought alike. I didn't have to go any farther.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, it's funny, in talking with you, I'm sitting here looking at my own stuff and what I do, and I'm like, you know what? I think Dave really hit something on the head when you said, if you wanted, you could just take one day and basically put all the content together for the whole year for 12 issues.
Yeah.
And then it's done. And I'm like, why don't I just do that? Why don't I just put together the content and be like, okay, 2020 is done. I don't need to worry about 2020.
No, you could just have Travis work an extra day a month.
Dude, no kidding. Actually, I just hired another buddy of mine. He's sitting here in my office, man. I'm going to be like, dude.
Oh, good.
Guess what job you just got?
Formats. Yeah.
I talked to Dave. Guess what job you just ended up with? Yeah, I love that idea, man. I love it. Just get it done. Never even think about it again. And just, it goes out. But it's for me, number one thing that's made me more money than anything else I've ever done, ever. And when I have clients who are like, should I work with you? They don't know who I am. Maybe they're referred to me, whatever. Part of what I send them are my back issues. I'm like, hey, you know what? Here's some of my back issues of my newsletter. And they always, in marketing, they always had a little bit of content in there that was marketing related, just like you got maintaining the value of your castle. And so, like, if that were me in your situation, I would probably just have them fold it open to maintaining the value of your castle, maybe even highlight it with a highlighter, just circle it real quick, and, put a little note. Hey, here's the last 12 issues of my newsletter. You might want to check out the maintaining the value of your castle section. And boom, there you go. That's part of your marketing pieces now.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can always use anything you put together, just put it aside. Everything has a value someday down the road. So now, like this, has been sitting in the vault. This particular newsletter has been sitting in the vault for 3 years, because October 2016, I put it together.
Right.
And they weren't ready.
Right.
I love my wife, but she is not a...
Because she runs the title company, for everyone who doesn't understand. She's running the title company.
My daughter. And my wife is not one who implements fast.
Sure.
Me and you, I love it. Let's do it. If it works, great. If it don't, we'll do something else.
Right. Exactly. We move at the speed of instruction, whereas other people, they got to be beat over the head a long time.
I've known anything that I want, that I really want to introduce, it takes anywhere from 6 months to a year. So I got to start planting seeds.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Well, see, I think it's great that you actually do that. Like, my wife is an ice skating coach, and I just don't touch it. Like, I don't even provide any advice, because it's, I'm her husband. She's not going to listen to me.
Like, I know. Well,
there's so many people who are like, Pete, how could she not do it? Yeah. You know.
Yeah, now they ask me, well, what do you think? I said, are you sure you want to know? Yes, okay. So but before I would, I said, you got to do this or do this or this, and I just said stop. So I just stopped, and now it's really gotten a lot better because they'll ask me, well, what do you think? Or I'll say they'll run something by me, and I'll go, can I just give you my opinion? And you don't have to do anything with it. Yeah, okay, go ahead. And they'll go, oh, that's pretty good. I never thought of that. It's okay. You don't have to use it. And like I'll write stuff now. So they said, give me some ideas for some stuff. So I wrote some stuff the other day. And in the beginning, it says, these are just thoughts. You can change these any way you want.
I like it.
These are perfect just the way they are.
I like it. That's great. So I think the takeaway for everyone from this is you want to be doing a newsletter. Don't make it more difficult than it needs to be. So use the internet to give you the content. And just make sure you're not violating any copyright laws or anything like that. Like, we don't want to give you that kind of advice and tell you to go do something that's going to get you in trouble. And just get it all done in one day. And then just, who else do you know in business? Like, again, in the neighborhood that I live in, I got chiropractors, I got dentists, I got financial planners. So legally for them, it becomes really dicey what they can and can't do, at least here in California. And literally just, make a list of them and just say, hey, you know what? I wanted a real estate agent. You're the first person I'm reaching out to. If you don't want to do it, don't worry. I totally understand. But I'm going to have a real estate agent, so I need to know sooner rather than later. If you take it, I won't ask someone else. But if you don't take it, I'm going to give it to someone else. Right. And so a lot of times, especially if you go to the top real estate agent in the neighborhood that you like to work, you're going to get it because they don't want anyone else to get the spot. Yeah. And that's fine with me. I don't care what their reason is for giving me the $1,000 so I can, put their information in there. I want the advertising because I want it to cover my costs of sending out a newsletter to all the people who I want to send it out to.
And here's a very interesting thing is that if you go to your mailbox and you find people that are actually marketing through the mail, most of them are ego-driven
pieces,
marketers.
Yeah.
And they are your best people,
right,
to put into this newsletter,
right,
or a newsletter you're going to do in your area,
right. Yeah,
because
that's
I think
it.
that everyone is.
And by the way, guys, I think you hit on something else there. Those are the perfect people to approach. Like,
sure.
How much harder is it to go after, as this example, a real estate agent who's not advertising versus a real estate agent who you just got a direct mail piece from? They already know they need to do it. It costs them more than $250 to send that out. You can bet that.
Oh, guaranteed.
And you're coming to them saying, I'm going to give you
that.
Yeah, and you're saying, I'm going to give you 1,000 homes per month for 4 months. Come on, let's do it. And they're going to be a lot more inclined. That's how I did mine. I literally got a piece from one of my neighbors who's a real estate agent, one of the top ones in our neighborhood. And I said, hey, look, I'm putting out this mail piece, and I need a real estate agent. Do you want to be my real estate agent? This is what it cost. They go, sure. Like, literally, I asked 3 people. 2 of them said yes. 1 of them said no. And I had, in my case, I just had 2 other people other than me. And it worked like a charm.
That was when you were doing the postcards?
Yeah, doing the jumbo postcard.
Yeah, the postcards were free for you.
Yeah, it was free for me because I got the other 2 people to pay for it.
Yeah. So this whole newsletter is really about you. So when you get someone to sponsor the articles, in a sense, they're paying to sponsor you.
Yeah. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what you guys want to do. And it's something that I hope you just take from this and go back and actually implement it, because this has made Dave and I, at least from my side, it's made me more money than anything else I've ever done. Dave, I know it makes him money because I don't remember how many years ago you and I started working together. You were like, hey, this is the number one thing that I do is my newsletter. And I remember looking at it going, this is great. This is awesome. Just do this.
And, we'll have Travis put up both of these. We'll put up this one. We'll put up the other free one from Elite Home and Property Services. And they're close to the same. This one I would have to send out to a printer, but it's about the same price as using USPS.
Yeah, there you go.
Click to mail. The one for the painting, I would use click to mail. Is that what it is?
Yeah, click to mail is one.
I would upload a PDF of the newsletter. I would upload the names and addresses and send it out, and that's it.
Yeah.
Once they were done, that was it. That was it'd take 10 minutes.
And
send the newsletter out.
You bring up a couple
once a year, I would send them all out first class.
Okay.
So that I could delete the ones that came back.
Right. So a couple of things, guys. You can do it any way you want. Most of the time, you can do it black and white. Doesn't need to be full color. Why spend the money on full color? The way I always look at it is, what's your competition doing? Now, if your competition's doing a newsletter and they're doing black and white, then you do color. If your competition's doing color, you got to do color. But your competition in contracting is not doing anything, so black and white is fine. I tell that to my real estate clients. I go, look, your competition's not doing anything. Black and white is fine. Just you can be fine with that.
And the nice part about, like on USPS, if you go that or, click to mail, they do it through USPS.
Right.
They've got 3 colors. They've got white paper, they've got cream paper, and they got yellow paper.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So I'd always use the yellow because my logo was yellow anyways, and it's
right.
I want it in their face. I want the color in their face.
Right. Sure. Another way that I've done mine, if I'm really if money's a big issue for you guys, and you're like, hey, look, I got these advertisers, but I had to give it to them for $200 instead of $250 or whatever the number is.
Yeah.
What you can do is use a company called bestvaluecopy.com. They're out of New York. I use them for a ton of business over the years. They will print your newsletter on what's called 11 by 17 paper, all 4 pages. They will fold it. They will do what's called tabbing it, which is putting that little tape on it so it stays folded in the mail. They send it to me, and then I print labels, stick them on there, put the stamp on it, drop it in the mail. So if you got an assistant who can do that for you, you can save a little bit of money. Now, obviously, there's extra steps, right? You got to put some labels on it, put the stamp on it. And so it's preferable if you can just do what Dave just said, use something like clicktomail.com.
I think it's like 72 cents.
Is that what it is? Yeah. I mean, that's...
I checked, it was like, when I first started, it was 60, and it's gone up to around 72, even if it's 80 cents. That's still... And that includes the folding, the tabbing, and the mailing.
Right.
And the printing.
Right. Yep.
So unless you got somebody in the office that really absolutely needs something to do, then have them do it.
Yeah, because you're having other people pay for the whole thing to begin with. So yeah, why mess with it? But anyway,
I think if and you don't have. Here's the thing: is you don't have to send out 1,000. That's just a number that I came up with to start off with because we have 5,000 customers. But if you've got 200 customers, then use click to mail.
Right.
You can afford 80 cents times 2. That's $160 a month. And I'll guarantee that your customers will call you because they go, oh, I've been meaning to call you to get something done around the house. I got your newsletter, and it just reminded me to give you a call. Was that worth 80 cents or $1? Absolutely.
Completely.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys.
Yeah, so don't get up. Don't think that you have to have 1,000. You can send out 25 on click to mail. I think you can send out 1.
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah. I haven't sent out that few.
Yeah, so don't let the number scare you that 1,000. I can't do 1,000. Forget the 1,000. Can you do 1, 25, 50, wherever you are in business? If you can do 1,000, great. It's just gonna increase your numbers. But when I actually tracked mine. The 1 year I stopped 1 year, and I've said this over and over again, guys. It's the truth. I stopped 1 year, and I go, why did I do that? So I did it the next year, and I tracked, the increase and all the people I sent it to. I had, for every dollar I spent in a newsletter, I got $21 and change back in return. Yeah, you're not going to get that by running Facebook ads or by running even EDDM. But do them all because everything works.
Yeah.
But they just not work at one time.
Yep.
That's the whole key with the marketing. It's just don't depend on one thing. Do as many as you can for the multiples. I call it multiple streams of marketing, and multiple streams of income will make you wealthy.
Right. I agree. All right, my friend. Well, I think we've given them some great ideas and some great thinking to act upon.
Yeah.
And so, guys, we'll be back next week with another great episode, and we'll talk then. Take care, everybody.
Have a fun week.